Hey everybody, guess what? This is the 100th episode of the Emotionally Intelligent Parenting Podcast. I'm actually mind blown. I did not think I didn't even fathom that I would get this far. And that's saying something because I generally am someone who once I start something, I put my mind to it and I'm really consistent. And that has really allowed things like my Facebook community to grow so big, my Instagram as well to grow to so many followers. Because usually once I start something, I'm like, okay, I'm putting my mind to it. I'm going to be consistent. I'm not going to give up. So, I'm still human. But anyway, so did not think we would, I just never fathomed. I thought, yep, we'll get to 20. Am I going to have enough stuff to talk about? And 30, and then it just kept going. I don't know. I think I did actually miss, there was 1 week because I was uploading every week. I think I missed Mother's Day last year or this year. I can't remember. And that weekend, and I was just that is okay. But apart from that, I've been super consistent. And last month in May, I was uploading 3 times a week. I don't know if you guys realize that. That was intense. I actually had some back pain and some shoulder blade pain because I was hunching over my laptop, planning, scripting, editing. It's just me. It's just me. I do a lot of this stuff. I have an amazing small team, and they help me, post online and get the word out. But really, I'm doing the recording, the scripting, the editing, and then the publishing. So yeah, that's it. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about the kind of journey, my journey. I haven't really talked much. I don't know if I've actually at all talked about that on the podcast or on YouTube. I'm starting to put a lot more content on YouTube as well. So if you want to see me as well as hear, then you can find this episode on YouTube. And it's probably in the show notes. I'm trying to put the links there as well so that I don't forget anything. But oh my God, half the time my brain is so full that, you guys have probably seen mistakes left, right, and center and just haven't told me. So I'm really thankful that you're still here listening. And at the end, I'm going to do a giveaway. I have 10 people who are going to win prizes, and we put that out on my social media, to my email list, everywhere. And so we had a bunch of names that my team and I drew some winners from, which is really exciting. So stick around for that. I want to say a huge welcome. If this happens to be the first episode that you're listening to, congratulations. I hope this is going to be a good one. I think it's I've got some loose points I wanted to just kind of share, like I said, about my journey. But there's going to be some emotional intelligence lessons in there. And definitely I'm going to talk about my parenting and my kids and everything. So, that's kind of, that tends to be, you guys, if you have caught my episodes before, then you kind of know it's I very much talk off the cuff, and how I write is how I talk, how I plan is just, the way I kind of speak. So it's very natural. I don't have a full script in front of me or anything, but I've got bullet points so that I know not to forget some stuff. So yeah, it's massively surreal to be here. And I just want to say thank you to the people who've been listening for a while, and definitely to the people who have just stumbled across it today. Every listener counts, because if you guys weren't here and you were listening to the other podcasts and not mine, well then I'd pack it in. I don't know, would I still do it? Probably not. Let me tell you guys, I can't even find my words, that this actually all started back in 2019, right before the lockdowns, right before COVID. And I was a speech pathologist. I've told some of you that on these episodes and things like that. I was a paediatric speech language therapist for about 10 years. And then I, to be honest, unfortunately got burnt out, and then moved into emotional intelligence because I saw it online. I thought, wow, that's someone I knew was posting about it. I was like, this is weird. This is interesting. What is this? I was very curious, but I was really skeptical because as again, some of you know, I was not raised in an emotionally intelligent, as in it wasn't around back then. You know what I mean? I think a lot of parents in the 80s and 90s, it just wasn't, we didn't know about emotional intelligence. And thank goodness now we do. So yeah, I left speech and I went into emotional intelligence. I had massively low confidence. I was battling anxiety, and it was always just running underneath the surface for me. And so I never ever imagined any of this would be happening. And that was when I started this tiny Facebook group. I literally invited my friends and family, and I had 10 members, and I was just posting this stuff that I loved, about emotional intelligence. And it was, I'm sure, it wasn't very good, but it was just stuff that interested me. And I posted I don't know if anyone knows this part of the story though, because I don't think I've probably only mentioned this like a handful of times, if that, over the last 6 years, is that what actually started the massive growth and like my group going viral and people just flooding in like members is that I had created this post. We reshare it every now and then, my team and I, because it's so good. Like I love it, but it's just a really simple one. And the gist of it is, I should actually find it and then like post it somehow with this episode. The gist of the post was just a quote that I created, and it said something like, when emotions are high, logic and language are low. So in a meltdown, don't reason with your child, just connect, just hold space and just be. I actually think I got like 95% of that right. And so I shared that post. I created it. I posted, I think I put on Canva right back when everyone was starting to get on Canva, and then posted it, and kaboom, like people just shared the poop out of it. And Janet Lansbury got her hands on it, reposted it, and then said, who knows, like, does anyone know who this educator is? Because I want to tag them. And then a friend of mine tagged me. I think a couple of people did actually. And I was like, oh, it's mine. Like, thank you. And then she edited her post and put in my Facebook group, which is Let's Raise Emotionally Intelligent Kids. And then boom, like just overnight, we were seeing like hundreds of people a day joining the Facebook group. And it's still going so strong now. Like we have lots and lots. We probably have like 50, 60 people joining a day. And I think at current count, it must be like 130 something thousand members. I can't actually remember. So super grateful for her. There was a couple of other big names who shared my post as well. And that made me think, oh my God, like there is something to this. And so that was happening. I actually took my first overseas trip for emotional intelligence. I went to the Green School in Bali with a couple of friends / colleagues that we were starting to do emotional intelligence with. And I had this tiny amount of time. They were doing like a workshop, and then I got about, I want to say like 20 minutes to stand up in front of the group and talk about emotional intelligence for parents. And people loved it. And I was super nervous. You guys should have seen me. I think I've got one photo of it. And I was standing there, like I can see it's from side on, and I can see I am making myself smaller. I'm hunching. I look so unsure and so nervous. And I just knew where I was at. Like I was so naive and so, I just had such low, like self-confidence, was massively like racked with anxiety, you know, just one foot in front of the other. But yeah, people loved it. And, it helped me kind of get some of that confidence to go out on my own, to start coaching parents on my own, you know, posting more and more about it and saying, hey, like this is something I think we need to all listen. This is really important. And, you know, it's not that complex, but it's not easy, if that makes sense. So yeah, the group grew, my confidence little by little started to grow, and I actually connected with now a friend, someone who was new overseas in the US, and she was speaking on lots of online summits and conferences and said, hey, I can't do this particular conference. Would you like to speak instead? Because her and my stuff was so aligned. And I was like, oh my God, me? Like, are you serious? Like, what do I have to do? Are you sure? Yes. And so I said yes, and I spoke at the conference. It was like an online summit. And I don't know, like once you get on a summit like that, then other people, like obviously other educators, other summit hosts, other experts and people in the field see you. And then that just kind of started to, you know, gain momentum and snowball. So I was doing a lot more of that stuff, heaps online, and I actually gradually started speaking at schools as well. I actually went to my nephew's school, his primary school, which is where my husband went as well. And that was just a really cool moment to talk to the parents one evening about emotional intelligence, something that they'd never had before. And I remember the principal was there, and she came up to me and was talking. I don't even remember what the conversation was about because I was obviously so nervous and so still massive anxiety. And I was just kind of winging it and trying to do everything perfectly, and trying to, like, the amount of time I would pour over my slides and the presentation and like, what would I say? And, you know, what would I wear and how would I do my hair? Like, guys, I don't know if any of this resonates with you, if you were like me, but it was exciting, but it was so draining because I put so much energy into it. Oh my goodness. those were the early days. And I love that I have a couple of photos from back then, and my parents came along to one or two, and that was really, really cool. But then also, like so nerve-wracking, because I was like, oh, what are they going to think about this? This is what I do. And now they finally get to see. Anyway, so it was the thing. So I was because I started to post a lot more online, right? And I was doing little clips and little reels, and over, I think it was 2021-ish, I was writing my book, which I'm just going to hold it up if you are watching on YouTube. This is my author copy. I don't know if you can see. It's got this black line across it that says not for resale, not for resale, not for resale, because that is it's like my first ever copy that I got to proof. So cool. Like, I died when I got it. And so I was writing that because, everything was locked down, and I thought, I have so much time. Didn't have so much time. That's actually when my parent coaching in emotional intelligence really took off, because people were home with their kids and they were tearing their hair out, and dads were home for once, and they were like, oh my God, the kids are not leaving me alone. They want snacks. They're bored. They want food. They want the TV on all day. Like, you guys know what it was like, right? It was a nightmare. We were all just surviving. It was crazy. And so I was writing that, and then a lovely lady in the US, in California, got her hands on it and said, reached out, and she said, can you come to our annual parent conference and our annual staff training for us over here in California? And I was like, I'm sorry, do you know I'm in Sydney? Like, I'm across the ocean. I'm not in the US. She was like, yep, we'll fly you out. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, be cool. So I don't know what came over me, but obviously I said yes, even though, again, I was still like, I'm working on my emotions, my emotional regulation, my emotional health, my anxiety. I was so lucky that one of my beautiful friends that I met just a few months before that, actually, at another conference in Aruba in the Caribbean, we'd made fast friends, and I said, can you come to California with me, because I don't want to go alone, and I'm going to have to like either take my husband, but then I got the kids, like. And she was like, you know what, let's do it. Like, we made this little trip. It was only for a week, but I was like, I would love if you can come and just support me. And anyway, so I don't know, like the stars aligned and she was able to come, and that was incredible. Like, I ran a full 2-day, like hour. I don't know how I didn't lose my voice. That was amazing. And also, I just mentioned, going to Aruba for a parent conference. That was like a dream. I'm like, who am I? Like, I'm just Steph. I'm the little girl from Sydney who was a therapist and like would only ever be a therapist. I don't know what happened. Just life is a series of choices. And I just said yes to stuff. Like, I started to think, if I just say yes and figure it out later, I'll probably be okay. Right? I just kind of followed my gut. So something I realized after doing those conferences and meeting so many people, I realized that this stuff, it just doesn't belong only in homes with parents and kids. It belongs in schools too. So I started reaching out a lot more to different schools and preschools, and now I obviously do lots of training and workshops and things like that. But like, this is the stuff that I realize, oh my goodness, like, this is for absolutely anyone, anywhere in the world, no matter how old you are. If you're in relationship with any other human, which unless you're a hermit, then you are, like, you need to have emotional intelligence. It is not a soft, nice to have. I hate when people call it a soft skill. Like, oh yeah, no, it's really interesting. I'm like, no, it's a critical, what do you mean interesting? It's a critical life skill. It's an absolute non-negotiable. It is a necessity. Not even just now, because hello, look at the rates of anxiety, depression, self-harm, suicide, relationship breakup, divorce. I'm like, guys, not only now are we seeing that people are having massive negative impacts and like the risks and dangers of not understanding and handling our emotions healthily, but also think down the track when AI is literally taking over at like a faster rate than we can even come up with, chat bots. And like all of our, what are jobs even going to look like? I'm not going to go down this track, but you can see why I'm so passionate about this and why I'm like, guys, anyone, anywhere, I don't care if you're in a workplace or in a school or if you're just a mum at home. I shouldn't say just. sorry, rewind that. Even if you are a mum at home with your kids, this is the stuff that we need to be learning if we want to find joy in everyday life, if we want to release stress, if we want to actually be physically healthy too, because we know stress, anxiety, depression, like all of this connects to our physical health, right? If we want to live longer, if we want to have joyful relationships. Oh my goodness. So you can probably tell that my confidence has grown a whole lot. Yes, I still feel anxiety sometimes, and sometimes I feel like it does get the best of me, but I'm able to really manage it with a whole lot more compassion. EFT tapping is something that I added to my toolkit just in the last few years, really, last 3 or so years. I was very skeptical to begin with EFT tapping. And I was like, what? How does it work? I don't know. That seems a bit woo-woo. Oh my God. Like it's a somatic, like mind-body therapy approach that once you learn, you just need your fingers. Like you're just doing tapping on different parts of your body. Like this is wild that we actually don't need to pay for all the medicine, medical care, like pharmaceutical, like all of that stuff. I'm like, actually, there's a whole lot that we can do for ourselves once we just learn the techniques or the skills. So another thing I want to mention, this is really cool. My husband and kids have benefited so much from just my choice to be like, okay, I'm going to go into this. I think there's something to it. Maybe I can switch careers here. My husband, you guys know, he's been on the podcast a few times. We have learned so much about how to get on the same page. I often say that genuinely, if we didn't have this stuff, if we didn't know about emotional intelligence, we probably would have divorced like 3 to 5 times. Like we were, because it helps you with communication and with conflict. It actually helps you to not take things personally. It helps you to go, oh my God, yes, I'm having an emotion about this. Yes, I'm feeling really frustrated because you're not listening, or I'm feeling really hurt or disappointed. But I now acknowledge that you're feeling a certain way. And that's why we're having this disagreement, because whatever you're feeling and whatever you're going through is as true for you as my emotions and experience are for me. Like there's something to this for you, and you have a strong feeling and you have a belief about it. And let me understand what that is. Like, let's work together against this problem or this issue rather than like just me versus you. I know I'm going like off on tangents, but I cannot express how powerful emotional intelligence is for your life, whether or not you have kids and whether or not you're working, like genuinely. I can say that I am a much calmer and more connected and patient parent now. Like very rarely, I think I really lost it at the kids. This was several weeks ago. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I haven't done that for months upon months upon months. I genuinely couldn't remember the last time that I got that frustrated. And it was actually nothing to do with the kids. It was all this other stuff, right? The iceberg stuff that was going on for me. It was all that other stuff. And then my kids, as usual, like for most families, the kids are the ones who cop it. Okay. So definitely not right. But I remember thinking, wow, it has been so long since I got to that point, since I reached that level. Most of the time I can get frustrated and then I can take a break. I can circuit break. I can walk away. I can work it out with the kids. I can problem solve. I can talk to them. And most of the time, like 90% of the time, I look at my kids and I'm like, holy crap, I am so lucky. Like they are perfect. And of course they're not perfect as you think they're, as like the word means, but like for me and my husband, like for us as a family, I'm like, man, we hit the jackpot. And I do genuinely believe when we think of our kids like that, like they are absolutely perfect in their own way, and they are not little copies of us, they're not carbon copies of me or you, right? They are their own beautiful sovereign being that has their own nervous system and their own like ways that they're wired. Then we can see the like perfection, the beauty in that. So, okay, let's go. I don't want to keep going on and on. I want to keep this a short episode, but like a celebratory one. So let me pull up the winners of the 100 episode giveaway raffle. I have 10 names here. If your name is called out, then please expect an email in the next 24 hours of this going live, which is going to be very soon. Expect an email. We have everyone's email because what we did was put out on all our social platforms in the last like 1 to 2 weeks. We posted about a giveaway. If you would like to win a copy of my book, From Chaos to Connection, if you would like to win free access to one of my online courses, then we just put a form out. So we've got everyone's email. And so I want to thank everyone we had a bunch of people who applied and put their details down. And one of the questions, or the only question, was, what has been your favorite episode so far? Because I wanted to know, like, what really resonates with you? What do you love? What is really meaningful? Or what did you just find joy in? And so that was really cool to look at. Like, some of the, quite a few people said episode 83, that was with Shelley Robinson. We had a few on some of the episodes that we covered some neurodiversity in. And we had, what was another big one? Episode 44 with Eli Harwood about attachment, the attachment nerd. People love that one too. And then a few of you said there's just so many goodies. So that was really, really nice to see. Okay, so yeah, we're going to reach out to everyone. And so if you haven't caught this episode, or if you're not listening and you're listening later on and you go, oh my God, I forgot about this, and now I've just heard my name being called out, don't worry, we're going to email you. Okay, so we have 5 course winners. This is my Emotionally Intelligent Parenting course. You get free access to this. Drum roll, please. I don't know if you could hear that. Me tapping on the table. Okay, the 5 winners are, hold your breath, Chris Fallon, Jennifer Carboni, Natasha Lalovich, Faith Kozakowski, and Stephanie Miller. Congratulations, you guys won free access to one of my online courses. Just keep an eye on your emails. /junk folder often goes in there. And then winners of my book, which again, I'm going to hold up for you guys if you're watching on YouTube, From Chaos to Connection. Obviously, it's not going to be this one because this is my author copy and it's kind of dirty and it's a bit bendy, but this is, my favorite. You guys will get a copy of my book posted out to you. So again, we're going to email you. You're going to have to send us your postal address. 5 winners are Don Bush. Congratulations. Karis Jenkins, Anas Abu Shah, Nicole Jan, and Rob Matthews. Okay, congratulations, guys. If that was your name, if you heard your name called out, check your email because we're going to be emailing everyone in the next 24 hours and just to say a massive thank you and a massive congratulations and let us know how we can get that prize out to you. So, if you guys have been enjoying this podcast for, 100 episodes, did not think we would get here. I would love to know what other topics you want to dive deep on. It could be co-regulation. It could be managing our own triggers. I do quite a few episodes on that for obvious reasons. It could be things like ADHD or autism or some other neurodiversity, like whatever topic of raising kids or working with kids. If you're a teacher or educator, let me know. You can just, you guys know I'm on all the platforms online. You can find me. You can email us at hello@stephaniepinto.com. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at emotionally.intelligent.parent. My website's stephaniepinto.com. That's easy. You guys can find it all in the show notes and stuff below. So I just want to kind of share like a last message with you all. It's that you do not have to be a perfect parent. Okay? You just need to be a present, emotionally aware one. And I am here walking that path with you. We're stumbling. Sometimes we fall down, but we get up each day and we try a little bit harder to be a little bit better for our kids. So that's all I'm asking. Keep going, keep listening to the podcast, keep reading the books, keep finding the little quotes on, TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. All this stuff matters. And I can't express enough how, even if our kids don't, thank us in the future because they're on with their amazing, wholesome, successful adult lives, I think unconsciously we're going to have a huge, I think the universe will thank us because we're doing some really, really good stuff for humans just by listening and learning and opening our hearts. So again, I've probably said it too many times, but a massive, massive thank you from me, also from my family, because without you guys who are listening or watching this stuff, I don't really have a career. I don't have a job. I do not make anything from YouTube. I make the tiniest handful of dollars from this podcast. I don't know if you guys know that. Like, it does not make money. Me and my team spend so much time creating content. We don't make any money from Instagram. All it is from me mentioning here and there my courses or that I do coaching or my book. Like, that's it. So yes, please excuse me for the times when I'm like, hey, here's my book, or hey, here's a course, I would love you to try it. Like, if I don't and I just give free content, then I'm not going to keep the lights on. So that's a little bit of like probably TMI. from behind the scenes, but I don't care because I'm a mum like you guys and I want to look after my family. And again, this is the stuff I love, but without you guys, it wouldn't, I wouldn't have any of this. So thank you for tuning in and thank you for just being open-hearted. All right. Congratulations to all of us. We made it to 100 episodes. Have a wonderful rest of your week and I'll see you somewhere online for the next episode. Okay, take care.